I just want to take a minute to all the new thousands and thousands of followers that have joined the Climate Con army, as we are expanding and growing at a rapid pace, as everybody's starting to wake up about the madness of net zero and CO2. And I thought it'd be fitting to have some planet destroyers in the background, busy working away, destroying everything, destroying our way of life by farting and burping and eating grass. But if you're new to the mission, you probably haven't seen all of the amazing tools that we have available and seen all of the incredible work that the Climate Con army has been up to this year and the years prior. Now this leaflet, we've already done 37,000 all over the country, but it's a very, very powerful leaflet. We call it normie friendly for a very good reason. The facts presented in this leaflet are facts, truth, but they're very easy to get across to anybody who might be new to this subject, because a lot of the time when you're trying to wake some people up about what's going on in the world, a lot of the information is very scary and it's trying to get people to look at all of the terrible things happening in the world right now, and there are a lot of things we need to focus on. However, with the climate, it's the one thing where when you're bringing the truth to people, you're bringing an amazing positive message. And I think that's very, very powerful. And that's why I believe every truth seeker in the country should be focusing on the Climate Con, because it's much easier to get the information across when you're bringing good news. Nobody wants to hear anything more negative about the place. Everybody's already got enough stress. They're dealing with enough in their life. They don't need even more stress and even more things to worry about. That's a big reason why when you're trying to wake up your friends and family and you tell them about all the terrible things in the world, they just don't want to know, they don't care. But this leaflet, we call it normie friendly because the facts presented are friendly to everybody. And they're very simple, very easy to understand. And you've got one here, how CO2 is plant food, because that's all it really is. Somehow the gas of life has been demonized to the point where we're destroying our way of life just to lower CO2 emissions, when in fact we actually want more CO2. That can take a bit of time to get to an understanding. It takes a bit of reinforcement before you actually start to understand we want more CO2. It took me a bit of time to get there, but I got there, and so will you, and so will everyone, hopefully, eventually. And then the second one, the climate's always changed, because the climate has always changed. It's a brilliant piece that when people come to me and they realise that I question the mainstream narrative on the climate change agenda, the first thing they call me is a climate denier. You deny climate change. I'm like, no, the climate's always changed. The climate will always change. Even if we disappeared off the face of the earth tomorrow, the climate will continue to change. Prior to the Industrial Revolution, the climate was changing, and it will always change. The climate has always changed, and we've got a handy little graph there. And then finally, climate fact 3, the earth is greening, and it's greening at an incredible rate because of CO2 levels increasing and because CO2 is plant food. And you've got a brilliant source here, NASA. It's very hard for anyone to question NASA as a source because they've got all the satellites. They're pretty well established as a good source of information on stuff that's happening. So here's the leaflet. If you haven't already, go to the Climate Con website, check it out, grab some, educate your community. It's very, very powerful, and there's a reason tens of thousands of these have all gone out across the country, and we're still going. We have an event coming up on the 10th of May. If you can make it to Stockport, we're going to be doing some outreach there. But what I've noticed is a lot of this is just happening in an incredible decentralized manner, and all over the country, almost every little town and city has got at least one or two of you guys who have brought some leaflets and are educating your community there. Amazing to see. Keep it up, guys. Now, you may not have seen, I also have written a book. This came out a couple of years ago now, The Beginner's Guide to the Climate Con. Now, this book actually breaks down a lot of the really complex subjects, because once you start digging into it, you start getting into white papers and a lot of science, and it can be very hard to understand what's going on here unless you have a bit of a technical knowledge. And I don't even claim to be the absolute source of all information. I get my information from scientists and people that have gone to university, if that means anything, and they have PhDs and whatever, and people that are smarter than me, more specialized in this field. I've got what they have researched and found out and broke it down to the most simplest to understand way, because that's very important that we do that. And even this book has made its way into homeschools, People have brought it to give to their homeschool community. I've donated some to homeschools because it's so simple to understand that any child that has been hit with the greeny propaganda could actually read this book and understand it. It's very easy to understand, and it's got loads of pictures, and it's not too, dense and text heavy, but it's got enough there. It's got enough information for the important facts to be disseminated in a fun way. It's because this subject can be quite dry. It's a bit boring unless you make it fun, and that's exactly what I've tried to do here, and it's done quite well. We've sold hundreds of these. It's available in an ebook, an audio book, or you can get a hard copy, and I'll even sign it for you if you want. And then finally, we've got these bad boys. This year it's been a bit about stickers as well. Love the stickers, they're a lot of fun. So you may have seen recently the government has announced an insane agenda to try and block out the sun in the UK, the 5th most cloudiest country in the entire world. But for some reason, people have decided they want to make it even cloudier, and even darker, and even gloomier. Thankfully, it's a beautiful day, and the planet destroyers are out in force, eating the grass and dooming our way of life. But for some reason, there is an agenda to block out the sun. So to counter that, we have these stickers. Stop Solar Geoengineering stickers. Now, I can't claim that stickers are going to be the be-all and end-all in this fight, but we can all do our part, and we all have our role to play. You never know, that one sticker in that one place could just trigger somebody thinking in the right way, and it's like every single mind that knows a little bit more about the truth about the Climate Con is another mind saved from the behaviour change agenda from the Climate Change Committee, and we are starting to see the results of our actions. The Climate Con army has been prolific this year and the years prior, but now even Tony Blair is starting to realise that net zero agenda and the way it's being rolled out isn't going to work. And that's because we're winning the culture war. We've educated enough people about the truth that they're starting to realise that they can't continue going the way they're going, or they're going to lose. But this is very, very inspiring, in my opinion. This means we have to keep pushing and keep going and keep educating people on the truth. And that also involves these stickers. These are also pretty nice, pretty cool. I love CO2, pretty simple. They're very cheap, good value. You can get 24 in a sheet, and you can just throw them out everywhere. So these are the tools that we have available. Now, no longer can you sit there and think, what can I do to fight back against this insane agenda that seems to be encroaching on my way of life in every way possible? You've got the tools, you've found the movement, you've found the Climate Con, you're obviously here for a reason. So come and join us in this fight. You can do it on your own, you can come join us at the events we have coming up, or just share the information, or even if you just want to go to the website and educate yourself, we have loads of free material, free podcasts and free articles. It must be nearly 200 articles on the Climate Con website where you can read and read and read and learn and learn and learn, because the more that you know and understand the Climate Con agenda, the better you're able to disseminate the information when people ask you questions, because undoubtedly it's going to come up in your life. People question or have questions about what's going on here, and the more that you're able to confidently relay the information back to people and quote sources and look at these graphs and look at this and that, the better people will receive the information, the more progress we make in this culture war. And I noticed it in myself when I went to this climate cult church in this town that I'm at right now, a dedicated building to net zero, that having all of this prior information and knowledge embedded deep inside my mind was so powerful when I was confronting the enemy on this agenda, and I was able to hit them with facts and references and sources, blam, 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 and just totally blow away all of this insane agenda. So here we go. Big ups to everybody who's found the page. It's great to have you here. We're growing in numbers significantly, and it's amazing to see. Now it's time to use this powerful collective energy that we have growing in a constructive way, and together we will defeat the Climate Con.